Hey, fellow coin lovers. Let me ask you something. What if I told you that a penny from 1960 could be worth, not just a few cents, but a jaw-dropping $9 million? Sounds crazy, right? Well, strap in because today we're diving into the world of the 1960 Lincoln penny, one of the most valuable pennies you might have sitting around in your couch cushions. Stick around because you might just find out you've got one of these million-dollar beauties tucked away somewhere. Now, before you go raiding your spare change jar like it's the gold rush, let's take a second to understand what makes the 1960 penny so special. It's not just any penny. This little coin is actually one of the rarest and most valuable coins in modern US history. And trust me, we're not talking about a minor mistake or minting error that might make you a couple of bucks. Oh no, this penny has the potential to make you a millionaire. Yep, you heard that right. Millionaire. Don't go spending your savings just yet though. Let's break it down. First off, let's talk about what gives this penny its value. It's the 1960 double die obverse penny. Sounds fancy, right? I know, it's a mouthful. But here's the thing, this penny has a unique error in its minting process, which caused the design to be doubled on the obverse, meaning the front side where Abraham Lincoln's face is. Instead of a clean, crisp Lincoln, you get a ghostly double image. This is what makes it so valuable. Now, not every 1960 penny is worth $1 million. Oh, I wish it were that easy. But the ones with that double die error can fetch astronomical prices, and in rare cases, even up to $9 million. Yes, you're probably wondering, how did I not know about this sooner? Don't worry, you're not alone. A few months ago, I was digging through some change myself and found a 1960. I thought it was a regular old penny, so I tossed it in my junk coin jar. Only later did I realize that the coin sitting in my jar was worth more than my car. Yep, I nearly gave away my ticket to a beach house. But hey, that's what we're here for, to make sure you don't make the same mistake. The good news is, finding one of these rare 1960 pennies is still possible, and you don't need to go sifting through thousands of pennies to find one. Some collectors actually have a knack for spotting these rare coins in circulation, and while the chances are slim, it's definitely not impossible. But let's not sugarcoat it, the pennies worth millions are usually in mint condition. If you find one in perfect shape, you're sitting on a goldmine. If it's been sitting in a drawer for decades with some wear and tear, well, it's still worth a lot more than your average penny, but maybe not 9 million worth. So, how do you know if you've got the real deal? It's all about the details. You want to look for that doubled design on Lincoln's bust and the date, especially on the word Liberty. If it looks like someone's got a shaky hand and made an extra stamp or two, you've likely found a treasure. And if you're lucky enough to come across one, take it to a professional coin grader who can give you an official assessment. Trust me, you don't want to guess when it comes to a penny worth millions, but hold on, even if you don't find that mythical $9 million penny, don't lose hope. There are other rare coins out there worth big bucks. I mean, my friend once found a 1955 Lincoln cent that was worth about $1,000, and he thought that was impressive until he heard about the 1960. And if you don't want to sift through coins yourself, there are plenty of collectors out there who'll pay top dollar for your pennies if you know where to look. And don't worry, I'll share more tips with you in future videos. So there you have it, the 1960 double die obverse penny, a coin that could make you richer than you ever imagined if you happen to find one in mint condition. But remember, even if you don't find a $9 million penny in your pocket, keep hunting, keep learning, and don't throw away your change just yet. Before you go, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on coin hunting tips, hidden treasures, and strategies to make sure you're cashing in on your rare coins. I'll be back next week with more ways to turn your spare change into serious cash. Until then, happy coin hunting, and remember, you can always find value in the little things, even if it's just a penny. Alright, folks, gather round. Have you ever dug through your pockets or an old jar of loose change and found something that made your heart skip a beat? Maybe it was just a penny, but hold on, what if I told you that one particular penny, a 1962 D Lincoln, could actually be worth up to $8 million? Yeah, you heard that right. No, it's not a typo. Stick with me, because today, we're diving deep into the world of rare coins and uncovering why a simple penny could make you an instant millionaire. Now, you might be thinking, wait, is this some kind of coin flipping scam? Nope. This is 100% real, and trust me, this could be the one video that changes your financial future. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, what makes the 1962 D Lincoln penny so special? I mean, come on, it's just a penny, right? I get it. You're probably thinking, I've got a ton of those in my wallet right now, and none of them are worth even a nickel. But let me tell you, this isn't your average coin. In fact, this is a coin with a secret. The 1962 D Lincoln penny gets its value from a unique error that happened during its minting process. This is what we call a double die error, which means the die used to stamp the coins got misaligned, resulting in some of the letters and numbers being doubled on the coin. You know, like when you try to write something fast and your pen skips, leaving 2 marks instead of 1. Yeah, that, but on a national scale. So, where do you find this golden, or should I say copper, ticket? Look closely at your 1962 D pennies. The error is most visible around the words liberty and in God we trust. If you're lucky enough to find one with this double imprint, congratulations. You could be sitting on a small fortune. Now, you might be asking, okay, but how much are we talking here? Well, prices vary depending on the condition, but let's talk big numbers. Some 1962 D Lincoln pennies with this rare double die error have been known to sell for over $8 million. Yep, you heard me. A penny. Worth more than your car. Your house. Maybe even your entire 401k. This thing is the unicorn of the penny world, my friends. But, before you go running to your couch cushions looking for that missing treasure, I need to be clear, these 1962 D pennies are extremely rare. We're talking 1 in a million rare. Most of them aren't worth anything more than the change you find in your laundry basket. But if you find the right one, it could change your life forever. It's the coin version of winning the lottery, but you don't need to buy a ticket. Just check your pocket change. Now, full disclosure, I've never found an $8 million penny in my couch cushions, yet. But here's a little funny story. I was once digging through a box of old coins I got from a yard sale, and I thought I found a rare 1955 double die penny. I freaked out. I mean, I was this close to calling up a museum. Turns out, it wasn't quite the gem I thought it was, but that's how easy it is to get excited about these coins. It's like coin hunting is a weird mix of treasure hunting and reality TV. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But when you do, oh man, it's worth it. So, what can we take away from all this? If you're holding on to a 1962 D penny, take a good look. Make sure it's not just a regular old coin. You never know, it could be worth millions. But, even if it's not, don't give up hope. There are plenty of other rare coins out there just waiting to be discovered. And hey, even if your coins don't make you rich, at least you've got a fun hobby to dive into. Who knows? Maybe you'll discover the next big thing. If you want more tips and tricks on how to spot coins worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You definitely don't want to miss out on future videos where we break down other rare finds and coin strategies. And trust me, you want to stay tuned, because the next one could be your ticket to a small fortune. Now, I want to kick things off with a real head-turner. Imagine stumbling across a coin that's worth more than your car. In fact, it's worth more than some people's houses. I'm talking about the 1966 D. Abraham Lincoln penny, yes, a penny. But not just any penny. We're talking about a coin that's pushing a mind-blowing $7 million. That's right, million with an M. Now, you may be thinking, is this a joke? Nope, it's not. So grab your magnifying glass, because we're diving into the real value of this penny and why it's making headlines. So let's set the stage. We're talking about the 1966 D Lincoln penny. First off, you might be wondering, what's so special about a penny from 1966? I've seen millions of those at the bottom of my couch cushions. Well, that's because this specific penny has a very rare and highly sought-after error on it, the error. The 1966 D Lincoln penny was supposed to be struck with a copper composition, but some of them were made with a wrong mix of metals. Now, that sounds a little complicated, but here's the deal, the D mint mark is the key here. These pennies were supposed to be 95% copper, but instead, they were made with a mix that includes some aluminum, something that doesn't happen often in a penny. So, if you find a 1966 penny with the D mint mark and it looks a little off, well, you might just be holding a future $7 million investment, but here's where it gets even more wild. This penny, due to the error, became super rare. And when something's rare, it's valuable. Like, wow, I wish I had bought stock in Apple when it was just a fruit, kind of valuable. See, this penny's potential is rooted in that minting mistake, one that makes it one of the most valuable and sought-after coins on the market. And for those lucky enough to find one of these, it's a collector's dream come true. I know, you're probably thinking, but I'm never gonna find one of those coins. Well, don't lose hope just yet. You'd be amazed how often people find these types of coins tucked away in their spare change or stashed in old coin jars. It happened to my buddy, Jim. He found a 1966 penny at a flea market, just sitting there like any other penny, and bought it for 25 cents. He didn't think much of it until a friend, who's into coin collecting, pointed out the mint mark. Jim ended up selling that penny for $7,000, yes, $7,000. Now, I'm not saying that'll happen to you, but hey, stranger things have happened, right? So, what do you do now? First off, start checking your change like a coin hunting pro. Grab your magnifying glass, get a good light source, and carefully examine any 1966 pennies you come across. If you spot that D mint mark and it looks a little off, congratulations, you might be holding a future fortune, and hey, even if you don't find a $7 million penny in your coin jar, there's still a whole world of rare coins out there waiting to be discovered. You never know, next time you check a random penny, it could be worth more than your morning coffee, or more like a nice vacation. You're digging through an old jar of pennies you've had lying around for years, maybe you inherited it from your grandma, or maybe it's just that pile of loose change you never know what to do with. Suddenly, you come across a 1988 Lincoln penny. You're thinking, oh, cool, just another penny, nothing special. But what if I told you that little copper coin could actually be worth, hold on to your seats, $6 million. Yep, you heard that right, 6 million. Now, don't go running off to check your piggy bank just yet, but if you've got one of these bad boys, you might be sitting on more than just a nice lunch fund. Stick around to find out what makes this 1988 D penny so special, and why it's worth a serious fortune, because this is one of those, wait, what, moments. The 1988 D Lincoln penny, at first glance, might seem like just another boring penny. But there's a little twist in its tail, and it's all about the mint mark. You see, in 1988, there was a small batch of pennies struck with a slight error at the Denver Mint. Normally, when a coin is minted, it's done with precision. But sometimes, just sometimes, things don't go according to plan. In the case of the 1988 D penny, there was an issue with the minting process that resulted in a very rare mistake. The mistake itself was so subtle that most people wouldn't even notice it unless they really knew what to look for. So, what exactly happened here? Well, some of these pennies were struck with a double die, a fancy way of saying that the design was stamped onto the coin twice, which causes some of the details, like the date and the word Liberty, to appear a bit more prominent and slightly off-center. This error is extremely rare, and the ones that survived in good condition are worth their weight in gold, or should I say, in $6 million. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how am I supposed to know if my 1988 D penny is one of these rare ones? Good question. Don't worry, I've got you covered. First off, you'll want to check the mint mark. If it's at D, we're in business. Then, grab a magnifying glass, or if you're like me, you might just need your phone's camera to zoom in and carefully examine the details. Look at the date and the liberty on the coin. If they're a little fuzzy or you notice some ghosting, like a shadow of the letters or numbers next to the original, it could be the double die error that makes this penny so valuable. And let's be real, folks, we're all a little obsessive when it comes to looking for rare coins, right? It's like hunting for treasure, except you're not digging up buried chests in your backyard, well, unless you're really into that kind of thing. Now, I know what you're thinking, sure, but isn't every 1988 D penny worth a fortune? Oh, I wish. The thing is, only a tiny number of these double-die pennies made it into circulation, and only a few have been preserved in pristine condition. The ones that have been graded high, by professional coin graders, of course, are the ones that can sell for crazy amounts of money. In fact, some of these pennies have been sold for up to $6 million. So, yeah, I think it's time to go rummaging through those jars of coins, don't you? Now, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was at a local coin shop, just browsing. You know, just a casual let me see what's out there kind of trip. The owner pulls out a box of pennies, and after a bit of chatting, he tells me, "You never know what you'll find in here, some of these could be worth a lot." I wasn't expecting much. So, I start flipping through this box like a kid in a candy store, trying to look casual but secretly hyperventilating on the inside. And then, bam, I find a 1988 D penny. At first, I thought, oh, just another penny. But after checking it under the magnifying glass, there it was, a faint double die. I felt like I just hit the lottery. Of course, it wasn't worth $6 million, but I still walked out with a nice profit. So trust me when I say, go check your pennies. You never know what you might find. So, here's the deal, if you've got a 1988 D penny, don't toss it into the jar with the rest of the change just yet. Take a good look at it, check for that double die error, and maybe, just maybe, you've got $1 million coin on your hands. Even if it's not worth $6 million, hey, you might be able to sell it for a pretty penny, pun intended. And if you love learning about rare coins, tips on how to spot hidden treasures, and how to make money from your coin collection, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Trust me, you'll want to stay in the loop on all things valuable in the coin world. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your pennies always be worth more than you expect. Do you have a 1996 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark sitting in your collection? Well, get ready to have your mind blown because that penny could be worth, drumroll please, up to $5 million. Yep, you heard me right. I know, it sounds like something out of a treasure hunt movie, but stick around because I'm about to explain how this little penny could potentially change your life, if you've got the right one, of course, and no, I'm not pulling your leg here. This is the real deal. So grab that penny, and let's dive in. First of all, when you hear the words, 1996 D Lincoln penny, you might be thinking, hey, I've got a whole jar of those sitting around. That doesn't sound too special. And honestly, most 1996 pennies are, well, pretty average. But here, if your penny has the right features, you might just be holding on to something worth a small fortune. Now, here's the thing. We're talking about an extremely rare variety of the 1996 D penny, one that was accidentally struck with the wrong die. This rare mistake has made these pennies incredibly valuable. But, don't go running off to your penny jar just yet. Not every 1996 D penny is going to give you a sudden influx of cash. You've got to look for a few key traits. The first thing to know is that you need to find the D mint mark. That's the little D on the bottom of the obverse side, where Lincoln's face is staring back at you. But here's the kicker, the error coin we're after is a double die variety. This means that the coin was struck twice, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the date or the inscriptions on the coin. When you closely inspect the 1996 D penny, you might notice that the 9 in the date and other parts of the design seem a bit, well, doubled. That's when you've got something special, but here's where the story gets even juicier. The current market value for a 1996 D double-die penny can hit anywhere from a few $100s all the way up to $5 million. Now, I know you're probably thinking, is this just some wild coin myth? Well, not exactly. There are actual confirmed sales where these error coins have fetched insane prices at auctions. We're talking serious money here. Let me tell you, I've personally found some unusual coins in my own collection, and it's like a mini treasure hunt every time. Just the other day, I was going through my old jar of pennies, you know, the one that's been sitting in the back of my closet for years. Don't judge, we all have one, and I found a couple that caught my eye. Nothing worth millions, but I got pretty excited. It's funny how easy it is to forget that every penny has a history, and sometimes that history can make it worth a lot more than you think, but finding these rarities is not as simple as just stumbling across them. You've got to do your homework, pay close attention to detail, and maybe get the coin professionally graded to confirm its authenticity. You know, don't just go calling up your local pawn shop expecting them to give you the golden ticket on the spot. Trust me, you'll want to do your research. So, what's the takeaway here? If you happen to have a 1996 D penny and you're lucky enough to have one of these double-die error coins, you could be sitting on a goldmine, potentially worth $5 million. It's wild, right? And remember, coins are much more than just pocket change. They can hold some serious value if you know what to look for. So, don't toss out those pennies or think they're all the same. Take a closer look and keep searching. You never know when you might stumble across a hidden gem. Before you go, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip about coins worth money and strategies on how to sell them for top dollar. I've got plenty more exciting videos lined up to help you get your coin collection, and your bank account, to the next level. I have a question for you. How much do you think a penny is worth? A cent, right? Well, what if I told you that a penny, yes, a single penny, could be worth $3 million? Sounds crazy, right? But hold on, it gets even better. Today, we're talking about the 2004 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. You heard that right, a 2004 penny with no mint mark. This isn't your regular penny you found in your couch cushions. Nope, this little guy could be sitting on a small fortune. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be looking at every penny in your pocket with a little more suspicion. Okay, let's break this down. In 2004, the U.S. Mint released the Abraham Lincoln pennies as part of the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. They were made to honor the 16th president and featured a brand new design on the back, a log cabin to represent his humble beginnings. But here's the kicker, a very small number of these pennies were released without a mint mark. The mint mark is usually placed right below the date, and it tells you which U.S. Mint facility made the coin. Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, you know the drill. But for some reason, a few of the 2004 pennies were sent out without any mint mark at all. And when that happened, a coin collector's dream was born. Now, this is where things get a little spicy. The 2004 no mint mark penny is rare. And when I say rare, I mean rare. We're talking fewer than 10 known to exist in uncirculated condition, and some estimates put the value of one of these coins at $3 million. That's right, $3 million for a penny. If that doesn't make you double-check your change jar, I don't know what will. Here's the thing, this penny doesn't just magically appear in your pocket. Finding a 2004 no mint mark penny requires some serious luck, or a really old coin jar. I'll tell you, I've had my own adventures with rare coins. I once thought I had struck gold with a coin that turned out to be worth exactly 3 cents. But hey, every coin has its day, right? Now, if you're thinking, okay, that's cool, but how can I tell if I've got a 2004 no mint mark penny? Here's the trick, look closely at the date on the penny. If it says 2004 but there's no mint mark, you've got yourself a potential gem. But don't get too excited just yet, there's more. You've got to check the condition of the penny. If it's worn down or damaged, don't expect to make a fortune. But if it's in mint or near mint condition, especially if it looks shiny and new, you're definitely in the game. So, let's recap. The 2004 no-mint mark penny is a rare, potentially $3 million treasure hiding in your change jar or pocket lint. But like anything in the world of coins, it takes a sharp eye and a little bit of luck to spot it. And if you do find one, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Now, before you go off to check your piggy bank or start raiding your friend's spare change, remember this: rare coins are out there, and they could be hiding in plain sight. So if you want more tips on how to spot hidden gems, how to get the best value for your coins, or maybe just want to hear more stories about my coin hunting misadventures, I promise, they're pretty funny. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And hey, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the valuable tips we'll be sharing in the future. Thanks for watching, and may the rare pennies be with you. Until next time, happy hunting, and keep those coins in your pocket, because you never know, you might be carrying around a gold mine. Hey everyone, so you've been scrolling through your coin collection, and you come across a 1964 D Lincoln penny. You give it a quick glance, thinking, just another penny. But, wait for it, what if I told you that tiny, seemingly insignificant penny could be worth a staggering $3 million? Yeah, I know, you probably just looked at your change jar to see if you have one. Don't worry, I'll help you figure out how to spot these rare pennies in the wild, or better yet, how to cash in on them if you happen to have one stashed away. Stick with me for the next 10 minutes, and by the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to know about the 1964 D Lincoln penny and why it's causing some serious buzz in the numismatic world. So, grab your magnifying glass, because we're about to dive deep. Let's start with the basics. The 1964 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and for most of us, it's nothing more than a common coin you find in your pocket change. The D stands for Denver, and the 1964 year is just right at the tail end of the 1960s penny era. This penny was made in massive quantities, around 2.7 billion of them to be exact, so it's not exactly rare in the traditional sense, but, and here's where it gets juicy, there are some 1964 D pennies out there with a huge error that makes them worth a mind-blowing amount of money. We're talking about a small, subtle mistake made during the minting process, where the die that struck the coin was slightly misaligned. This error created an unusually sharp image on the penny, which is super rare. And when one of these super rare pennies went up for auction, it sold for $3 million. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. $3 million for a penny. I mean, what were we even doing back in 1964? Probably trying to figure out if the Beatles were cooler than Elvis, but that's another story. Now, you might be thinking, I've got 20 pennies from 1964, but none of them are worth anything like that. And you're right. Not every 1964 D penny is going to fetch millions of dollars. But here's the trick, it's all about condition and error variety. These rare pennies have to be in excellent condition, preferably uncirculated, and feature that elusive minting mistake. Here's the thing, when you look at your penny, what you're looking for is a double die obverse error. This means that the lettering and details on the front of the coin, like Liberty or In God We Trust, appear to be doubled or even tripled. The images look like they've been stamped more than once, which creates a blurry or thicker look around the edges of the letters and numbers. That's your red flag that this penny might be worth checking out. Let me tell you a little story here. I once found a coin in my grandmother's coin jar, a 1955 wheat penny that looked, well, kinda worn out. I thought, this is probably worth nothing, but I kept it around for a few years. One day, I took it to a local coin dealer, and turns out, it had the famous double die error. I couldn't believe it. I walked out of that shop with a big grin on my face and a little extra cash in my pocket. So, the lesson here is, don't underestimate the value of your change. But back to our 1964 D penny. The first thing you'll want to do is carefully inspect the details on both sides of the coin. Grab a magnifying glass, or maybe just use your phone's camera, to zoom in on the coin's surface. Look for that double die error, and if you see something fishy, it might be time to get it appraised by a professional. Remember, condition is key. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. A coin that's been sitting in your pocket for years, getting scratched and dirty, is going to lose its value. But one that's kept in pristine condition, maybe in a coin holder or a safe place, could be worth a pretty penny, pun intended. Alright, folks, I know you're probably dying to go check your change jar now, and I don't blame you. But before you go off to hunt down that elusive $3 million penny, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos on rare coins and how to cash in on them. Whether you've got a handful of pennies or a box of old quarters, there's always a chance you've got something worth more than just a few cents. And hey, if you find a 1964 D Lincoln penny with that double die error, don't forget to send me a thank you card, or at least a picture of the coin before you sell it for a small fortune. Alright, coin lovers, gather round because today, we're diving into a penny that's worth way more than just 1 cent, more like $2.8 million. Yep, you heard that right. We're talking about the 1979 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And before you start wondering if your pockets are filled with gold, or in this case, copper and zinc, let's see if you could have one of these rare coins hiding in your piggy bank. Trust me, this isn't your average penny you find under the couch cushions. We're talking a real-life treasure that could make you a very wealthy person. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just want to check your change jar a little more often. And hey, you never know, you could be the next lucky coin collector who stumbles upon a jackpot. Let's get into it. The 1979 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those rarities that make coin collectors go wild. It's not just any 1979 penny with a D Mint mark, though. No, this particular penny is a special edition error coin, and it's got some stories to tell. So here's the deal, the 1979 D penny you're looking for has something, a little extra. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck with 2 different dies, which created a huge error. This caused the image of Lincoln to appear slightly off-center, making the coin even rarer. The reason it's so valuable today? Well, these misprints are super scarce, and when one of these rare 1979 D pennies hits the market, collectors are willing to pay big bucks to get their hands on it. Now, how big is big bucks? Well, a pristine example of this coin in perfect condition, with its off-center design, has been known to fetch up to $2.80 million at auction. Yes, $2.8 million. That's not just a couple of coffee runs at Starbucks, that's a house. A car. A vacation to somewhere tropical every year for the rest of your life. Imagine you're sitting at home, going through some old coins you've had since childhood, and bam, you find this beauty. You're about to casually toss it into your coin jar, and then you remember, you watched this video, and you know exactly what you have in your hands. Suddenly, you're calling up auction houses and thinking, wow, I might just retire on this tiny little penny. But here's the thing, while the coin might be rare, it's not like every 1979 D penny you find is worth $2.8 million. That's why it's so important to know what to look for. This specific penny needs to be in near-perfect condition, with the error clearly visible. It has to be that sweet spot where scarcity and condition meet. Take a close look at the features. If the image of Lincoln looks a little, well, off, or if you notice the date is misplaced or blurry, you might be looking at a winner. And while not every misprinted penny is going to make you a millionaire, it's definitely worth checking out your 1979 D pennies. So, the next time you see a penny, don't just toss it into the jar or use it as a marker for your Monopoly game. Take a moment, give it a little inspection, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the lucky one who finds a hidden treasure. Okay, so here's the deal, while you probably won't find a $2.8 million penny lying around in your laundry, it's always good to check those pennies you come across. Whether it's a 1979 D or another rare coin, knowing what to look for could make you some serious cash. Plus, there are tons of other rare coins that are worth way more than face value, you just have to know what you're looking for. So, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1979 D penny and want more tips on which coins could be worth a fortune, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. I post new videos all the time, and trust me, you won't want to miss out on the next big coin discovery. Yes, you, put down your coffee, pause the video of that cat trying to fit into a shoebox. You're not going to believe this, but today we're talking about a penny, yes, a penny, that could be worth $2.5 million. And no, it's not a typo. So, grab your magnifying glass, because this is one treasure hunt you don't want to miss. If you're a coin collector, or even if you're just someone who's ever looked at loose change and thought, maybe I'll get lucky, this is the story you need to hear. The 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is one of the most elusive coins out there. And by elusive, I mean, it's so rare, it makes finding a needle in a haystack look like a walk in the park. Now, let me take you back in time. The year is 1982, Ronald Reagan's in office, Thriller is blasting on the radio, and people are still wondering if the new Coke was a good idea. And then, right in the middle of all this, the US Mint makes a little mistake, a big mistake that would change everything for collectors years later. In 1982, the US Mint decided to make some changes to the penny. They were switching from copper to a zinc core, which meant they were producing two different kinds of pennies. Most of the 1982 pennies were made at the Philadelphia Mint, and they had a P mint mark on them. But, drumroll, please, some of them slipped through the cracks without the mint mark. That's right, a no mint mark 1982 Lincoln penny. And trust me, it's a big deal. Now, this little misstep created a rare and valuable coin, and the catch is, these bad boys didn't start popping up in your change jar until years later. That's because people didn't realize the 1982 penny without the mint mark was even a thing. Fast forward to today, and if you've got one of these bad boys, you could be sitting on a potential fortune. Now, just to put it into perspective, this isn't some random penny you find in your couch cushions. No, no. If you have one of these coins in mint condition, we're talking up to $2.5 million. I know, right? You could pay off your house, retire on a beach in the Bahamas, or, if you're like me, finally buy that shiny new grill you've been eyeing for months. But before you get all excited and start searching through every penny you have, hold on. There's more to it than just having a no mint mark coin. First of all, the condition matters. It needs to be in really great shape, like, barely touched condition. We're talking about pennies with little to no wear, no scratches, and definitely no coffee stains. And just because it's a 1982 no mint mark penny doesn't automatically mean you've hit the jackpot. You need to have it authenticated, too. I mean, you can't just throw it on eBay with a note saying, this penny could be worth $1 million, and hope for the best. You've got to do your research, and if you're lucky enough to find one, get it checked out by a professional. There are some real coin experts out there who can tell you exactly what it's worth. Now, I've got to be honest with you, I've been in your shoes before, searching through old coins in my grandpa's collection. He's got all kinds of weird things in there, like coins from countries I've never heard of. So I thought, hey, I'll try to find a gold mine in here. One day, I found what I thought was an ancient-looking dime. I was ready to call up the Smithsonian. Turns out, it was just a super old coin that was worth like 10 cents. But hey, the point is, you've got to be patient and do your homework. But when you find that rare gem, that is when the magic happens. So, if you think you've got a 1982 no mint mark penny lying around in a dusty drawer somewhere, take a second look. It could be your ticket to an early retirement. Just make sure to check the condition, and if you're serious about selling it, get it authenticated. And hey, even if you don't have a rare penny, don't worry. There are tons of other coins out there that are worth money, so stick around, because we've got tons of tips on how to make real money from rare coins, all from the comfort of your own home. What if I told you that a penny, yes, a single penny, could be worth a whopping $2.20 million? No, I'm not talking about a rare gold-plated one or something you found at a wishing well. I'm talking about the 1988 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Crazy, right? Stick around, because this penny could change your life, and I'll tell you why. Before we get into the details, let me share a little story. I remember going through a jar of loose change at my grandma's house when I was younger, and thinking, man, this is all junk. I tossed pennies into the trash like it was no big deal. Fast forward to today, and I've learned that some of those junk pennies could have been worth more than the whole jar of nickels I had my eye on. So, if you're digging through your pockets right now, don't throw away those pennies just yet. Let's talk about this 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, you might be wondering, why is a penny from 1988 worth more than a new car? Good question, my friend. Here's the deal. First off, this penny is special because it has no mint mark, which is really unusual. Normally, US coins come with a mint mark, indicating where they were made: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. But a penny with no mint mark at all? That's pretty rare, and in the world of coin collectors, rare is where the money is. So how does this little copper circle become a $2.2 million gem? It's all about rarity and the fact that not many of these no mint mark pennies were produced. Now, don't go running to your coin jar just yet. Just because your 1988 penny doesn't have a mint mark doesn't mean it's going to be worth millions. These pennies only have the massive value when they're in mint condition, like, shiny and almost untouched by time. We're talking about a penny that looks like it was just minted yesterday. Here's where it gets even crazier. Some believe this particular 1988 penny could have been a mistake. Maybe the minting machine just forgot to add that mint mark. A mistake like that? Well, that's what makes it so desirable to collectors. Mistakes are often worth more in the coin world than perfect coins because they're, you guessed it, rare, and this isn't just some collector's dream. There's actual proof out there. If you Google it, you'll find auctions where people have bought similar pennies for millions. So, there's definitely something to this. Now, let's talk about how to check your coins. You're probably sitting there thinking, wait, do I have one of these? First, grab your 1988 pennies and take a good look at them. If there's no mint mark under Abraham Lincoln's portrait, you could be holding something special. But remember, the condition is key. If it looks like it's been through a few too many washes or got caught in your pocket with some loose change, it probably won't fetch you a fortune. And here's a little coin hunting tip for you: don't just focus on the big, shiny coins. Sometimes the real value is hidden in the small ones. I learned that the hard way, trust me. I used to think, it's just a penny, until I stumbled upon a rare one in the back of my drawer. Suddenly, I wasn't just staring at copper, I was staring at potential cash. So, take a closer look at your pennies. You never know what you might find. So, there you have it. The 1988 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be worth a cool $2.2 million if it's in the right condition. Who knew? If you've got one of these hidden away, it's time to dust it off and see if you've got a fortune on your hands. But remember, just because it's a 1988 penny without a mint mark doesn't mean it's a goldmine. Condition is key. Mint condition is your best bet. So don't go jumping on eBay just yet, but definitely keep your eyes peeled and your change jar close. If you enjoyed this little coin treasure hunt and want more tips on how to turn your spare change into something more, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more hidden coin gems and strategies to make serious money with rare coins. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your coin hunting journey. Catch you in the next video. Have you ever checked your pockets and thought, hey, what if I have a goldmine in here? Well, today we're talking about a penny. Yes, a penny, that could be worth up to $2 million. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true, and we're about to dive into the world of the 1992 Abraham Lincoln penny. You might want to take a seat because your pockets might just be a little richer than you thought, so let's get into it. Now, if you're holding a 1992 penny right now, don't get too excited just yet. The one we're talking about is a special 1992 penny with a unique error. This isn't just your average copper disc. Nope, this penny has something different about it that can make it worth, well, a fortune. The secret? The famous, close AM, variety. First off, what do I mean by, close AM? Well, in 1992, the US Mint had a little slip-up during production. The letters A and M in America on the reverse side of the penny were supposed to be spaced a little farther apart, but on this specific error coin, they're closer together than they should be. This mistake only appeared on a few of the 1992 D pennies, making it a highly sought-after treasure for collectors. So how do you spot one? Good question. You're gonna want to flip your penny over to the reverse side. Look closely between the A and M in America. If they're really close to each other, like they're having a little chat, you might have the holy grail of pennies on your hands. And trust me, it's not something you're gonna see every day. But before you get too excited, let's talk about how much this thing could actually be worth. At its peak, a 1992 D close AM penny has been sold for up to $2 million. Yep, that's right. A penny. Imagine paying for your morning coffee with that bad boy and then realizing, wait, I could have bought a mansion. Now, here's the kicker. Finding one of these pennies in your pocket change isn't exactly common. It's pretty rare, and the value depends a lot on the condition of the coin. We're talking about pristine, high-grade specimens. If it looks like it's been through the laundry a few too many times, well, you're probably not looking at a fortune. But still, you might have some pennies worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Keep an eye out, and if you're wondering how I stumbled upon all this info, let me share a quick story. I was at a local coin shop, chatting with the owner about rare finds. You know, the usual, just two people nerding out about coins when he pulled out a 1992 D close AM penny. I'll never forget the look on his face when he said, "This could be worth up to $2 million. I thought he was joking, but the more I dug into it, the more I realized he wasn't. So, trust me when I say, this penny could be sitting in your pocket, right now. So, what do you think? Does your pocket change have a hidden treasure? Or are you just a little bit richer in knowledge about rare coins now? Either way, I hope this video helped you take a closer look at your coins, because you never know what you might find in your spare change. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got more coin tips, tricks, and rare finds coming your way, and you won't want to miss out on your chance to discover a hidden fortune. And who knows? Maybe the next time you check your wallet, you'll have the next $2 million penny. So, I've got a question for you. How much do you think a penny's worth? 5 cents? A dime? Maybe a few bucks if you're lucky? Well, what if I told you that one single penny could be worth, wait for it, $1 million? Yep, you heard that right. A 2015 Abraham Lincoln penny, without a mint mark, could potentially be worth 7 figures. Sounds insane, right? But it's true. Stick around as we dive into how this happened and how you could possibly have one of these hidden gems sitting around in your change jar. It's 2015, and the US Mint is doing its usual thing, cranking out millions of pennies. But, in one particular batch of these 2015 Lincoln pennies, something went a little off track. You see, normally, each penny has a mint mark that indicates where it was made, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But for some reason, a handful of these pennies didn't get a mint mark at all. Just one tiny, little detail missing. And let me tell you, that tiny mistake is what could turn your penny into a fortune. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. So, how much is this penny worth? If you were to walk into your local coin shop with one of these no mint mark 2015 pennies, you might get an eyebrow raise from the dealer. And if you've got the right conditions, like a pristine penny with no signs of wear, then we're talking about a value that could reach up to $1 million. I mean, that's some serious pocket change, if you find the right penny. But why is this penny so valuable? Well, it's all about rarity. This is not something you're going to find just anywhere, and there's only a small number of these mint error coins out there. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for these unique finds, and the lack of a mint mark makes it extra special. Let me share a personal story with you to make this more relatable. A couple of years ago, I was going through a box of old coins I'd inherited from my grandfather. Mostly stuff like nickels, dimes, and a few old pennies that didn't seem like anything special. I mean, they were cool to look at, but nothing that would make me rich, right? Well, guess what? I actually found a penny from 1943, which is famous for being made of steel instead of copper. It wasn't worth $1 million, but it was still pretty cool. So I get it, there's something magical about finding a rare coin that could change your life. Alright, now I know what you're thinking. How do I find one of these golden, well, copper, tickets? Well, it's not easy, folks. These 2015 pennies are pretty rare, and they won't be lying around in every pocket or piggy bank. But keep your eyes peeled, check your change, and maybe even scan through old coin rolls at your local bank. You never know when you might stumble upon a little piece of history that's worth a whole lot of money. So, if you want to learn more about rare coins, how to spot valuable ones, and what to do when you find something priceless, besides freaking out, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on future tips and strategies on how to make some serious cash with your coin collection. Trust me, you'll be kicking yourself if you don't. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting.